Welcome and welcome back, everybody, to the OK Grognard Show. Today is Monday, November 7th, 2022. It's 10 a.m. Central in beautiful Lake Geneva, Wisconsin. And today we are continuing with our look at the Advanced Dungeons and Dragons First Edition Dungeon Master's Guide section on magic items, Part 20. Where does the time go? It's a big section. We knew the job was dangerous when we took it, Fred. Yep, there's a lot to go through, and we're in the miscellaneous magic section, and we're looking at what are we looking at? Boots, right? Yeah. We're looking at boots because we just did books, and that's how the alphabet works. Halloo, hallay. So it says. Anyway, first one's up is Boots of Dancing. So let's jump right in. The magical boots of dancing will expand or contract to fit any foot size, from halfling to giant, just as other magical boots will do, of course. They radiate a dim magic if detection is used. They are indistinguishable from other magic boots. And until actual melee combat is engaged in awkward sentence there. And until actual melee combat is engaged in, they will function exactly as if they were one of the other four types of useful boots. That's five in all if you're counting. See below. When in melee combat, or if the wearer is fleeing from the actuality of same, the boots of dancing will impede his or her movement, begin to tap and shuffle, heel and toe, or shuffle off to buffalo, making the wearer behave exactly as if Otto's irresistible dance spell has been cast on him or her. Parenthetical, -4 from armor class rating, no saving throw possible, and no attacks possible. Only a remove curse spell will allow the boots to be removed once the true nature comes forth. So there are a fair number of cursed items that we've been seeing already, and I think that is something that makes Advanced Dungeons and Dragons First Edition and Second Edition probably more as much so. Um, Maybe a little less so. I think the I don't have any hard numbers on this, but I think that the one of the charms of early D&D were these items that look exactly like other things of their ilk, other boots, and that were there to throw in just to have some fun. I mean, inevitably, it didn't take a lot to, you know, throw a remove curse to get them taken off your feet and get rid of them, or sell them on, or slip them under a cobbler's into a cobbler's shop when they weren't looking, just to cause a little mayhem. But the idea was don't trust everything. This is a hard lesson to learn in early Dungeons and Dragons. This is not don't trust everything, but don't trust everything. Which is to say, you should be on your guard from time to time, or maybe most of the time, but if you do it all the time, you won't have any fun. And just because something like this happens once or twice in a campaign or over the course of a year, it does not mean that you should, you know, slow down the game or not have fun with it. Hey, there's some people in the chat. How you doing there? Thanks for coming out today, Sarah. Crafty Kaiju. Thank you very much. First time chatting. It's much appreciated. Moving on to the boots of Elvenkind. These soft boots enable the wearer to move without sound of footfall in virtually any surroundings. The wearer can walk across a patch of dry leaves, or over a normally creaky wooden floor and make only a whisper of noise. Say 95% chance of silence in the worst of conditions, 100% chance of silence in the best. Oh, yeah, there you go. Crafty Kaiju says, I like the Stone of Weight for the same reason. Everybody wants to pick up pretty gems until they realize it reduces your movement speed. No doubt. Little things like that. And then once you have it, you gotta deal with it. And it's not life threatening. It can be in the wrong situation. If you pick it up and then a monster comes chasing you and you try to run and suddenly you cannot move as quickly, it could be devastating. So you do got to be careful. Boots of levitation are next. As other magical boots, these soft foot gear will expand or contract to fit giant to halfling sized feet. Boots of levitation allow the wearer at will to ascend or descend vertically. The speed of descent is 20 foot per round. That's per minute. So you're not soaring. There is no limitation on usage. The amount of weight the boots can levitate is randomly determined in 14-pound increments by rolling a d20 and adding the result to a base of 280 pounds. A given pair of boots can levitate from 294 to 560 pounds, but they'll fit giant feet. Thus, an ogre could be wearing such boots, but its weight would be too great to levitate. So it's just a standard thing that all boots fit all feet from halfling to giant size. It doesn't mean they'll be useful boots, although they are comfortable, soft footwear. So there you go. Kind of a flaw in that one. You would think maybe adjusting that to allow it to take the person and allow them to levitate and allow them to carry up to weight, say, half their body mass, again, beyond their own actual weight. So, make some adjustments if you want that to work for everybody. Otherwise, you've got a halfling carrying 560 pounds, well, less the halfling's weight, going up and down at 20 feet per round, and the speed doesn't change, right? So that's an interesting thing. Do they work as anti-gravity, and doesn't your changing weight make some drag on that? Anyway, some things to consider. Boots of speed. These boots enable the wearer to run at a speed of a fast horse. 24-inch, that's 240 foot. Movement base speed for every 10 pounds, 100 GP equivalent of weight. So notice that there. 10 coins, 1 pound. Another reference that sometimes gets hidden. Of weight over 200. For every 10 pounds of weight over 200 pounds, the wearer is slowed by 1 inch or 10 feet in movement. So a 180-pound human with 60 pounds of gear would move at 20 inches or 200 feet base movement rate. And if a sack of 500 gold pieces were carried in addition, the movement rate would be slowed yet another 5 feet or rather 5 inches or 50 feet. 10 feet. Yep. For every hour of continuous fast movement, the wearer must rest 1 hour. No more than 8 hours of continuous fast movement are possible before the wearer must rest. Boots of speed give +2 to armor class value in combat situations where a movement of this sort is possible. So pretty slick that they help out with that. But as I said with the boots of levitation, if there's a range of weights, why isn't the effect of because it's magic. Okay, well, those are magic too, but those are affected by weight. So there you go. Boots of striding and springing. This will be the last one for today. The wearer of these magical boots has a base movement of 12 inches, 120 feet, regardless of size or weight. Didn't we just? Okay. The speed can be maintained tirelessly for up to 12 hours per day, but thereafter the boots no longer function for 12 hours. Assume they recharge for that period. In addition to the striding factor, the boots also have a springing factor. While normal paces for the individual wearing this type of footgear are 3 foot long, the boots also enable forward jumps of up to 30 feet, backward leaps of 9 feet, and vertical springs of 15 feet. If circumstances permit the use of such movement in combat, the wearer can effectively strike and spring away when he or she has the initiative during a melee round. However, such activity has a degree of danger, and there is a base 20% chance that the wearer of the boots will stumble and be stunned on the following round, adjusting the 20% chance downward by 3% for each point of dexterity above 12 of the wearer, 17% at 13 dexterity, 14% at 14 dexterity, 11% at 15, 8 at 16, 5 at 17, but 2% at 18 dexterity. So 19 dexterity, no problem at all, right? In any event, the wearer increases armor class value by +1 due to the quickness of movement these boots imbue. So armor class 2 becomes 1, armor class 1 becomes 0. Thought we'd keep going. We did all the dexterities. Anyway, this is another fun pair of boots, and they're interesting. I think the real limits on boots of striding and springing, boots of levitation, boots of um, speed come based on the fact that it is a game for groups of adventurers. So when you're with a group, you're only going to get to use these things maybe in melee combat, maybe if you go off scouting or on your own for some reason for a short period of time. But as a party member, it's going to be tough to get full use out of these because ultimately you are going to outpace or move in ways and away from your group, and that never works out well. Somebody always gets bitten on the boots, so to speak. But pretty good. Boots of striding and springing, boots of speed, boots of levitation, boots of elven kind, and boots of dancing. I guess you got to expect something that is made for individuals, that is footgear, to be not just personal, but also to really only help one member of a group since they have to be individually worn. I think there are a number of what you would think were personal items that extend outward. I know there are certainly invisibility, 10-foot radius, things that provide protection in a radius, um, those sorts of things. And certainly there are buff spells such as bless and chant and whatnot that extend out to a group. So if you're interested in getting a little more cohesion out of your playing group, you may want to consider making some items that are a little more group encompassing in their effects to make things fun for everybody, make things advantageous for everybody, rather than having a group always be a collection of individuals. Perhaps have them be team members that each have their own way of helping out the entire team rather than just shining on their own. Sarah asks, what if someone wearing boots of striding pulled a cart of their team? Well, that is an interesting idea. I wonder if the weight of the cart would be too much for the person to handle. Speed can be maintained 12 hours, 30 foot backwards. So, yeah, this, regardless of size or weight, well, there's always that question, right? And we used to joke about this when it came to shows like the $6 billion man or the $6 million woman. Uh, she had what? Eyes and an arm. He had legs and something else. So he had basically striding and springing. But the question was, if you've got this super strong bionic arm, what about where it's attached? At what point does this become the weak link in the chain? What is the tensile strength of the muscles in your shoulder relative to the strength? Sure, I can maybe brace my elbow and curl because I'm doing it off of my elbow and it's braced, but then, how sturdy is the surface I'm braced upon? How much weight can I pick up with my arm up before that weight's too much for my shoulder or the tendons in my pectoral muscles? Where's the tear? So if I'm striding and springing, got to be in a harness to pull a cart. So I might venture to say that 1,000 pounds of weight on my shoulders, and then pushing with the boots to stride or spring might cause the straps to crush my clavicle, my bones in my upper body before I'm able to move it too much. After all, I don't have the same build and ability to withstand that sort of weight like a horse does. Anyway, I don't know. That's just a thought. You can play it any way you want, and certainly it's always fair in your own campaigns to be saying, hey, I want this to work, so I'm just going to let it work. Hey, this was a good idea, and real world physics be damned. But at some point, if you don't have real world physics as a baseline, then when you use magic, better armor. Okay, maybe if the boots are somehow connected directly to the armor so that you're just in a shell. This is like we talked about a few weeks ago. You need that apparatus of Qualish, right? Anyway, yeah, let's close it down there. We've got trying to make these shows a little shorter overall, so I'm not droning on in everyone's ear for a half hour every time they tune in. But I want to thank everybody. Thanks for jumping in the chat. Welcome to our new chatter, Crafty Kaiju. Appreciate it. Good to see you, Sarah. We'll catch all of you next time. But for this time, we'll just say thanks for joining us on the OK Grogdarn Show. Don't forget the show streams live on Twitch every Monday at 10 a.m. Central and is then archived on YouTube. Follow the channel on Twitch and by all means jump in the chat when you're here. And of course, subscribe to the YouTube channel so that if you miss a show, you're updated anytime when a new one is uploaded. Feel free to comment and give us thumbs ups. Click the little bell so you do get those updates on YouTube. Thanks a lot to our Patreon supporters, Tom Tullis of Fat Dragon Games, Rick Hershey of Fat Goblin Games, Carlos Lysing of Castle Entertainment, Heath Farndon of the AD&D 20, Dave O'Brien of Quacks Games, and as always, Shane Bradley, DM Extraordinaire. This has been the OK Grognard Show from beautiful Lake Geneva, Wisconsin. Bye-bye.